Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another discussion today. Yay, we're back outside. A little chilly, but it's like spring chilly, not winter chilly. Anyway, my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm excited to kind of continue the conversation yesterday on we're talking about self-worth not being negotiable, which it isn't. Never negotiate your self-worth. This is going to take us a step further into don't just stop abandoning yourself. And I don't think we always realize that that's what we're doing because it sounds so huge, like betraying myself. Like, what? Yeah. And here's the thing. I tell you, I didn't even realize I was doing this for years and years and years. I'm just being truthful because that's what I do. I'm all about honesty and residing in the truth. And I think any of us who have had stuff happen as kids. Oh, I'm trying not to be in the wind here because it makes a noise that's like totally annoying. I know. Maybe we have to go inside. As kids, when we're yanked out of our frames because bad things happen, and we land in the frames of other people, we often become very dependent on the approval of others. What we don't realize is what that is doing to us. Okay, we don't realize what that is doing to us. And here's the other thing. Earlier we did a thing with ACOAs, right? Adult children of alcoholics. And I am the oldest child, proud prodigy of two. And so if we add in the ACOA thing, if you were yanked out of your frame for other reasons, because we ACOAs, especially for the oldest, but it's all the way around, is we tend to have sort of blind loyalty. And I want to be really clear that loyalty is my number one with anyone in my life. Like, I am a huge loyalty person. Loyalty and honesty are my top two boxes to check for anybody in my life. And I am incredibly loyal. You'd have to, bludgeon me with a spiked club to get something out of me that was confidential, and it still wouldn't work. Okay, so I'm a big fan of loyalty, so I want to say that. That said, it is a trait of ACOAs, myself included, because I'm a work in progress with this too, that we have this kind of blind loyalty for people who don't deserve it. They're not worthy of it. It's one thing if you've got this incredible loyalty and holding confidence and all this for somebody who deserves it, but in my life I've had a hard time separating that sometimes. And so if we move that trait in, combined with, or if you don't have the ACOA part, with being yanked out of your frame for whatever mistreatment or neglect, also mistreatment, which yanked you out of your frame into getting into other people's frames, which is obviously codependent behavior and very common. We're not shaming people who got yanked out of their frames. We can get caught up in this need to fit in, and it sounds like very teenager. Like, try this cigarette, or they're gonna go. We swiped a beer out of my dad's fridge. Let's all go share it behind the garage, right? Well, it's kind of not different, really. Only I think there might possibly be an added component of shame when we're grown-ups trying to do this, because on some level, we know what we're doing. Not totally, which is, I think, where the shame comes in. Like, what's the matter with me that I'm 45 or 55 or 65 or 75 or whatever, and I'm still trying to fit in? Like, what's the matter with me? And that's shame. That is about being this excruciating feeling of being flawed and defective in some way, not measuring up in some way. And that, as you know, I'm on an anti-shame campaign, because no matter what it is we're talking about, anxiety, depression, ADHD, codependency, whatever, that isn't what brings us down. It's the underlying feeling of being defective. So here we are talking about stop abandoning yourself. Stop abandoning yourself. And I tell you, I didn't realize till deep, deep, deep into my adulthood that this is what I was doing. I was abandoning myself and didn't even know. And it's because I was so used to being abandoned. I was so used to, not being treated well, and my voice not mattering. And I was like, okay, I get it. My voice doesn't matter. So I'm going to show that. We talked about it with confirmation bias, because if we are out in the world looking for ways to not measure up, here's the thing. You're going to find them. You're absolutely going to find them. And it just took me a long time to really get it, that I was actually abandoning me by just not standing up, not staying in my frame, not exercising my voice, with no, it's not okay. I did want to go here for lunch, and I went along, even something that minor, and it is so bad for the spirit to repeatedly to abandon yourself at all, but to repeatedly do it. So just like anything else, awareness is key. We've got to catch ourselves abandoning ourselves. So when we get caught up into this fitting in thing that we were talking about yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that it sounds very teenager, the one that we don't want to shame because that's not going anywhere good. That's just bad. Catch it and say, yeah, you know what? The dynamic is similar because for whatever reason, I feel that I'm catching myself, which is great. I'm catching myself being pulled out of my frame into whatever coworkers or colleagues are saying whatever and doing whatever and going whatever. And what that is doing is saying what they think of me is more important than what I'm thinking of me. And in that minute, when you kind of make that choice, conscious or not, to land in their frame and get all caught up in that and change what you're saying, changing your political views, maybe not changing your core beliefs, but changing how you come off in a conversation a little bit, changing your color, what your favorite color is, changing how you would even just talk and be authentic, and you just start alluding to things that you don't really believe or whatever. You all know what that's like. In that moment, you are making a choice to abandon you. Even if you're talking about, I don't know, making quilts, and you're saying something that's totally not what you agree with. It's making a choice to abandon you. And think about it. If you were to abandon a friend, a good friend, and they asked you not to say this or to stick with them on that or just to go wherever or whatever, and you have an authentic relationship with that person and you abandon them, probably not going to have that relationship for very long, okay? They'd be forgiving because they love you the first few times. They would still forgive you, hopefully forever, but they may forgive you and choose to move on. So abandonment is huge because many people don't even get over that. Abandonment by mom, abandonment by dad or dad and dad or whomever, abandonment by a partner, excruciating. Most marriages and long-term relationships don't survive that. So if you put it into the context of you abandoning yourself, there isn't much worse you can do to yourself. It's not much worse you can do to yourself. So here's the thing. We say we got to be our own best friend. It sounds cheesy, but that is real. To treat ourselves how you would treat your very best friend. If that person doubles for a partner, that's great. True for me, definitely. If you got another best friend, if you've got a sibling who doubles for a best friend, think about, would you ever betray them? It's like, when I think of abandonment, I think of like backstabbing, it's betrayal. No. So it's very, very important, even if you are not feeling that value, because remember, gosh, I feel like I'm on this earth to channel this stuff because I know what it's like when you feel you can't even muster up the value, like you can't see it. I'm hearing from people I'm valuable. Some part of me knows that I'm valuable, but I can't touch it, taste it, see it, feel it, see it in any kind of way just yet. So that's when we do the fake it till we make it thing. You are valuable. You are a divine creature. We are all connected. All of us are connected. Call it universe. For me, it's God. Source is divine entity. And the universe doesn't make junk, okay? You are a divine creature and you are valuable. So even if you don't see it just yet, the fact that you're watching this video and maybe other ones and reading some stuff that's along these lines, you are well on your way. And your value is your authentic self is like, here I am, quietly until her or his or their voice gets louder. But you can hear the whispers that it is starting. So that's the fake it till you make it situation, okay? I know that I'm valuable. I'm going to just try, believe it, to see it, to just walk around and say it to myself. And when you catch yourself abandoning yourself, even just in a conversation, catch yourself. If you don't feel like you've got the strength to stand up to it, okay, just stop doing it. Get out of Dodge, go to the restroom or something. Because there is nothing worse for your spirit than to abandon yourself. That's it. So stop doing it. Just say no. Get back in your own frame where you reside, okay, with your own authentic self, with your authentic power in your own frame. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from Northern Vermont. Have a mindful, mindful day.